よし。はい。皆さん、こんばんは. Or good evening, good afternoon. And I'm the Kumo Sensei. And welcome back to another vlog. And this one is going to be kind of short actually, because it is pretty late in the afternoon. But essentially though today, I'm in public, outside, thank goodness, because the last few days has been rainy, which is why I haven't been vlogging because the bad weather. But luckily today's weather is much better, even though it's cold, and it is a little bit late, and I've just woken up. But I do gotta go to a dance battle pretty soon, so today I'm just gonna be doing a little bit of warm-ups, getting the gist of here and there. Nothing crazy, and it's crazy, man. That's funny. I said nothing too crazy, and it's crazy. But essentially, though, dance battle calls. This one is not a very this one is not a personal one. It's more so of just two people decided why not, and then maybe we'll do a dance cipher. You know, everybody who's around want to do a dance cipher, I guess. And I don't really want to. I'm not going to be teaching dancing in this video, nor will I ever, because it's just too much to teach for somebody who's been dancing for over a decade. I don't want to talk too much because we don't have much daytime left, because I got to get going pretty soon. So I'll do some voiceover commentary while I do some random stuff, and let's check this out, shall we? So welcome to another vlog. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about myself, and then we're going to be talking about dancing. So for those who don't know, my dance history goes a very long way. I have been dancing for over 10 years now, 12 years exactly. I started off as a street dancer, then I became a street performer, then I became a competitive dancer, and then I became a dance instructor, and basically that's where I am now. I do have proven credentials, and I have been dancing for a very, very long time, since I was a kid. But essentially today, we're not talking about my dancing history. We're going to talk about what I'm doing today. So I'm basically just doing a bit of a warm-up, practicing a little bit of moves, and practicing a bit of getting into musicality again. Now, for those who don't know, musicality is one of the key components when it comes to competitive dancing. Musicality is basically how your body expresses the music as you're dancing. And this is kind of the thing a lot of people overlook. People say dance to the rhythm or beat, but in reality, the defining term is actually musicality. So in competitive dancing, even if you do the coolest moves ever, if your musicality is bad and you're not dancing to the rhythm or beats, you're technically going to lose. So musicality is very important. So essentially for anyone who's watching and want to get better at dancing, you really have to practice other genres of music. So if you like dancing to K-pop, for example, or if you like dancing to rock music, you're basically going to have to dabble outside of that genre of music. For me personally, I dance to slow R&B, old school hip-hop, modern hip-hop, jazz, groove, and basically other types of genres. Because when you're competing in competitive dancing, most of the times you don't really get to choose your music. It's basically whatever the DJ puts on, and you basically have to adapt and dance to whatever is on. So if you're bad at adapting, then you really got to practice a lot more on your musicality. Luckily for me, I've been dancing for a very long time, so I can get pretty much into grooves within a few seconds. This is basically every competitive dancer nowadays. The level of competitive dancing has gotten much higher, so a lot of people are a bit deterred from competitive dancing, but if you want to prove yourself that you're a good dancer, competitive dancing is basically the way to go. Now, the music you're hearing in the background as I'm dancing is actually the actual music that I'm dancing to in this video, and I'm hoping that copyright doesn't really claim my video, because copyright has been terrible on my channel. So usually when I post dance videos, I have to actually edit the audio or basically replace the music entirely, so that way it doesn't get claimed, which is kind of why I don't really post dance videos too often, unless one is for my dance class for the summer, or two, just because I'm bored and I just want to goof off. But really, that's kind of the only times I post dancing videos now, because I'm not a big fan of this copyright stuff. Music and audio has become more prominent over the past few years on YouTube, and honestly, it's really draining to deal with when it comes to dancing. So I'm hoping that this music that I'm dancing to doesn't get copyrighted for my video, but if it does, I'm going to have to change the music that you're listening to, but I'm pretty sure it should be fine. I'll leave a caption if I have to change the music, but if not, then you're hearing the original audio or the song that I'm actually dancing to. Now, we'll actually post these dancing videos onto the channel later on this week, or next week that is. So that way, if you just want to actually listen to the music while I'm dancing, instead of hearing me commentate over it, then don't worry, I'll be posting them later this week, or next week that is. But anyhow though, coming back into this dance video, you will notice that I'm not really too sure what I want to do. I am practicing a little bit on musicality, but I'm also practicing a little bit on moves here and there. And I'm really just doing the same moves 1,000 times, because a lot of people think that dancers can do everything, but in reality, a lot of it is muscle memory. So usually I hit the same moves about 20 to 50 times, just to get it as a muscle memory. So whenever I do dance, it just kind of comes naturally, like second nature almost. So I do want to talk about this topic about me teaching dancing on YouTube. I am not really the person to actually teach online, because I prefer teaching in person, so that way I can actually see how my students are doing. I can give, pointers, assists, and basically just trying to help them out. If I'm teaching online, it's very difficult, and I also don't really know how they're progressing. So I prefer teaching in person. So I apologize if people are expecting me to actually post how to do this dance video or how to dance in general on YouTube, because that's most likely not happening. I'm just a guy who just posts goof-offs on YouTube, and maybe the occasional lesson for my students every now and then during the summer. But really though, everyone, there are many classes, basically a lot of classes where you can actually learn dancing, not just online but in person as well. So when it comes to my dance styles and my influences, the main ones are whacking, vogue, freestyle hip-hop, and then you have krump, popping, and then, a bit of fancy footwork here and there, and those are basically all the influences to my freestyle hip-hop. Now, a lot of people do say they can see a bit of the inspirations, but a lot of people do say that, I'm very original, and that's basically the whole point of being a dancer. You don't want to be stealing dance moves. Nobody in competitive dancing, from what I can tell, steals other people's dance moves. Please do not do that. So basically, you're going to have to discover your own character. Now, I'm not going to go into depth about what character is, because there's a lot of dancing vocabulary terms that a lot of you viewers may not understand, and this is something you're going to have to learn as you get better at dancing and as you enter into the world of dancing itself. So I'm not going to be teaching you guys that, because like I stated, teaching dancing is like jumping into a whole new world. It is very alien, so you'll figure it out as you go, but please don't steal anyone's dance moves. And I would also like to talk more about dancing every now and then, but it's just that there's just too much to talk about and not enough time, and honestly, I don't even know how I'm gonna go at it. Usually, when it comes to these commentary type stuff, there's no script. I usually just go with whatever's inside my head that I'm thinking of, so I know, if I teach one thing, I might forget something else. So I'm like, oh shoot, and I feel kind of bad then, because it's like I skipped an entire lesson, or an entire terminology, or something of the sort. But someday, everybody, someday I'll express more about dancing on this channel, maybe one step at a time. And yeah, now back into the video. Okay, everybody, it's getting kind of late, so I gotta get going to my dance battle. But I'm sorry if this one's a relatively short vlog, but I hope my commentary over the dancing can explain a little bit about myself, I guess. But as I stated, I don't think I'll be teaching you guys, because there's just not enough time. But without further ado, I gotta get going. It's getting super late. But as always, with that, everybody, thanks for watching, and yeah, on to my dance battle. See ya.